Thank you again for the invitations, and it's a pleasure to present different advanced endoscopy. Now we move to the bronchopulmonary, so spyglass. So this is one of the interesting cases and challenging of the spyglasses. The objective is just to present the three cases, different scenarios. Everybody knows the new spyglass was introduced this DS recently. It gives us a lot of advantages, diagnosis, also managing the difficult cases with the challenging cases. There's one system, it's a very single operator cholangioscopy. Migrated stent, usually biliary stent, is very difficult to retrieve for a lot of reasons. One of them is a plastic, short plastic, it get migrated intrahepatics. It's almost accounted here from 1 to 20%, and 5% mainly plastic and partially covered metallic stent, and 1% is uncovered. Even if we think is uncovered, difficult to be migrated, sometimes can be migrated, but this is less one, around 1%, and most of the metallic is fully covered metallic stent. So I'll go to the cases. So we have different tools to retrieve the migrated plastic or metallic stents. We have mini pies, and we have the snare, and we have also the basket. This is all spy basket, spy snare, spy pipe. So this is the first case. This patient underwent an RCP. As you see, this underwent a lap chole first, and then the stent was inserted at that time to have biliary stone. Then what they did, they inserted a short plastic stent. As you see, it's migrated almost at intrahepatic. As you see, they tried 3 ERCP outside, they can't retrieve it. And then we'll see how the cholangioscopy. We tried the the balloon, baskets, all the modalities, and we difficult to retrieve it because we cannot imagine what is the distal flange and proximal flange of the plastic. It was in the intrahepatic. The proximal is almost migrated inside, and the other one, it was in intrahepatic, so difficult to be retrieved. What we use the cholangioscopy, and then with a lot of manipulations of the spy snare, we grasped the distal part of the plastic stent and was easy to be removed safely without any adverse effect through the papilla, as you see, and then the plastic stent was inserted. So this is the first case. It was challenging. Patient underwent RCP 3 times outside the hospital. They can't retrieve the stent. Next patients, this is almost fully covered stent was migrated. The patient, I think, was stone and also BSC patient. So metallic stent was migrated inside the common hepatic and common bile duct. The same principle we use. We tried all the standards maneuvers. We tried the balloon, we inflate the balloon distally in the mid of the stents, large balloon, we couldn't, and then we start to use the directed forceps. Difficult also, again, we cannot retrieve and grasp the distal phalange of the metallic stent. So we failed all the standards maneuver, and then we moved to the spyglass. As you see, even the directions of the papilla here is very difficult. So was inserted the scope safely, and then through the metallic stent. And once we make sure we examine the proximal part of the metallic stent, and then slowly withdraw the cholangioscopy. In this case, we use the mini pipe. This is the very small forceps, but luckily we grasp the distal phalange or distal part of the metallic stent. Then with the push and force, it was removed completely with a lot of stones. So this is the second case of managing difficult and migrated fully covered stent. After that was cholangioscopy was taken out, and then stent was removed by standard snare. Last case, it was very difficult. Stent, as you see, this is the stents. This is the this is the cholangioscopy, the spyglass. You see the stent is almost at the intrahepatic. This is the proximal part, and this is the distal part. So with a lot of the same, we start balloon plastic baskets, and we couldn't retrieve it. What we discovered, there is another pathology, large stones was seen as common hepatic. So you see, this is the plastics. Okay. As you see, this is the cholangioscopy video. The stent. So what we did first, we tried to break down the stone using the laser lithotripsy. And then the stent was clearly free from the intrahepatic. So it was very soft stones, but it was very large and big. So a stent was through the stone, so difficult to be removed. So that's why it gives us a clear message. Cholangiogram sometimes difficult to give a clear answer. This is a clear cholangiogram, but there is no stones seen in the cholangiogram. So this is the stent now. After we break down all the stones, then it was clearly seen the distal part, and we use in this case the spy baskets, and we push it against the wall and against the stent, and then was grasped easily and was removed without any difficulty. So I conclude by this case is common. We have sometimes we face a lot of metallic stent was migrated. So number one, don't choose the short plastic stents. So 7 usually high migrations, and then small French also is easy to be migrated. Fully covered stent also can be migrated to the inside the bile duct, or maybe sometimes distally. So if you have a clear indication to insert the plastic stent, you can insert it if there is no indications. So don't be a conservative or a preventive to insert a lot of plastic stents. I think this is the end of the presentation, and thank you.